It's been almost 1 year since Hamas terrorists launched its horrific attack on Israel, killing more than 1,200 people, capturing hundreds of others and taking them hostage, and sparking a devastating war. Part of Hamas's barbaric attack involved murdering innocent young people from all over the world at the Nova Music Festival. Shalev Biton was at that festival and he is a survivor of the terror attack, and he joins me now from Tel Aviv. Shalev, thank you for your time. We are approaching the 1 year anniversary of October 7. How are you feeling?
Wow. I think personally I can say better, a bit better, because in some way, for myself, I started to do what's called advocacy, to speak about what happened and give presentations and explanations and everything about what happened on October 7th for me. But that's personally. In general, in Israel, life is still difficult right now because of the war and everything, and the hostages are still there, so the situation is pretty tough, still tough for us as Israelis. But I can say for me, much better than the beginning of the year, like last October.
How will you be marking October 7? Will you be in Israel?
So honestly, I'm supposed to be in San Francisco, in Stanford University, and I invited to speak there, in front of, I think it will be the Jewish students, but I hope it will be for everyone, because for me, this is my goal is to share my story for everyone, not only to Jewish. So honestly, I'm not supposed to be in Israel, but I think I will do something very important. So I'm happy to do so.
Does it feel like 1 year has passed? What are your reflections of that time?
Wow. I think it's the longest month, the longest year in my life, because I passed through so much things since last October. And I think the whole country, everything is changed. In some things, I have to say in positive way, but most of it in a bad way, not so positive way and negative way. Um, but I think I'm just until now not 100% realizing what happened. I think this is the most correct question, answer for me, because every time that I see the TV show that has been made in Israel about my story, I can't believe that I was part of it. It seems like a crazy story that I heard for someone. It's not me. I don't know what is it, but I was there. That's me.
Yeah, it would make sense that you would still be processing an event as horrific as that. Are you still haunted by it in any way, or has sharing your story really helped you?
So for now, I have to say that speaking about it helped me a lot, because for me, it's like every time is to process it again. And so I think it's a very powerful skill to know how to tell your story, because when you do it, you write it. You kind of construct your own narrative about the story, like build your own narrative about the story and about your experience from that day and the month after. So for me, I have to say that speak about it and find that in some way it gives power to people, and it gives me power too. I think in some way I found the gold cycle for me, for me, for trauma in some way. I don't know.
You say Israel has changed in both positive and negative ways. Can you share with us what you mean by that, and what ways are you talking about?
So first of all, I have to say about positive, people become more, in some way I have polite and patience, and in Israel it's not so common to find people that are very easygoing. So I think in if I want to find a positive point of views, so first of all is the people become much more open their heart more and become much more kind, and that's amazing. Um, because I thought that Israel is sometimes can be tough. Um, Also, there is a lot of help that comes from abroad. For example, from people all over the world, and not only Jewish people. I know a lot of Christian people that comes here and volunteer in Israel. So I have to say that in some way, this is the positive point of view. The negatives is, everyone in Israel lost someone, or know someone who lost someone, and know someone and heard some story before it. Even though Israel is a very tough country in security way, it wasn't like that. And now that's crazy. Everyone knows something, knows someone, um, and I think the whole moral status of the country, of the people, is changed every time, every day, in relation to what happened in the war in Gaza and what happened in Israel. So everything is very fragile now, I have to say. Not, I'm not speaking about politics because I'm not so into politics. So I'm speaking like about the environment in the streets. And in some way, when some, for example, when the IDF has released the four hostages in June, the whole country were so happy, and so people actually celebrated it. And the lifeguard at the beach, he shouted on his micro speaker that the IDF rescued four hostages. So the whole country has celebrated. And then 2 weeks ago, when we discovered that six hostages got executed inside the tunnels in Gaza, the whole country has cried. So everything is very, some way connected, and in some way very, I don't know, like different the whole time, very crazy way.
I can only imagine the roller coaster of emotions that you'd be feeling. How difficult is it for you knowing that there are still hostages being held in Gaza?
Wow, that's crazy for me, because to be honest, at the first moment when I heard about it, I thought to myself, wow, I've been there. I was there too. And that's crazy. I cannot accept that people that were on the same ground that I was at the same party. It was a party. It's not, I don't know, not an operation, like an army operation. It was a party. We came to dance, and there are some of them executed inside the tunnels in Gaza, and some of them are still being held right now in Gaza. And that's crazy. It doesn't make sense for me. I was there, and then I passed through, as I told you, so much things and moments in the last year, and there are people that still, in some way, it's very easy to say, like, still at the same moment. For them, they are in the same moment. They are the Gaza tunnels and just waiting. That's impossible to think about it.
I wanted to ask, are you still making music? And what is the message you want to share to people who may be listening to your story for the very first time?
Wow. So first of all, about my music, I am kind of, in some way, there is like kind of a writer's block. You know what does it mean? So I don't know. For me, it's very intuitive. I'm going to write whenever I feel that I need to do it, and in some way, it doesn't call me for a couple of weeks. So for now, it's kind of stopped, but I'm sure it will continue, because from now I'm trying to be focused much more about speaking, and I am like giving talks about what happened for me and what happened after it, and it gave for me a huge impact after. And I think I'm trying to keep what I told you, like to follow my dreams a bit more and be a bit more kind to the people. And this is the message I'm trying to share to the world. Be a bit more kind, appreciate a bit more your moment, because no one actually knows when is the last moment, unfortunately. So just appreciate a bit moments in your life, and I think our life probably will be a bit better. And I think this is like the thing that I'm trying to be focused on in the previous 2 months and in the next one. And maybe I will connect it I will find a combination with music. One day it will happen I hope in the next couple of months. But I think the last thing that I want to say is I found that even in Israel, people in some way, I want to say it like in some correct way and very compassionate way, is take responsibility about yourself. That's like the line, like the topic. But I have to say that about your ideas, educate yourself, study, read a lot, and like ask a lot of questions. Try to find the real truth, not only the videos that ran on Instagram. I think we all kind of losing a lot of information when we are receiving it only from TikTok or Instagram or even Telegram. So just be much more, ask more questions about facts that you read. And I think maybe that will change the story, because in some way I have to tell you that after some conversation, like talks that I had in the US, some woman told me that I think she was not an Jewish, she was Christian. She told me that it's really easy to see the difference between the pro-Palestinians and the pro-Israeli sides, because we are trying to keep it much less violent. Like there is no violence at all. It's much more quiet and much more showing support than, I don't know, the other side, that it's much more aggressive and much more loud and much more. I think in some way we can see the difference only from this. And if we will find and do our own research behind it, I hope people will find the facts.
Shalev Biton, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and sharing your reflections with us. We really appreciate it.
So thank you so much, Gabriella, and have an amazing week and great day.